Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Stuart, and today we are going to be looking at AEI. I noticed it was trending, which is what kind of caught my eye. And what we're going to do is kind of take a look at why it was trending, what pattern we saw, as well as the tool we used to identify AEI as a trending ticker. We'll also dive into a little bit of background about it, so stick around. I'll make it quick, but hopefully this is pretty informative. If you haven't seen these videos before, we'll dive into it fairly in depth, but I'll link everything below. If you have a chance, please like and subscribe. That way we can keep putting out awesome videos like this. Okay, so let's get into it. So AEI stock is trending. This was shared by one of our contributors on the Utradea platform. He usually does a lot of kind of great posts, catches things that are trending across Twitter and Stocktwits, which is a very useful kind of way to gauge general sentiment, especially what retail investors are up to. So definitely a useful data item to be aware of. Okay, so let's see. So this is really just a little bit of background about AEI, as well as trending social sentiment. Is it trending? So the average daily message volume, let's look at Stocktwits first, is about 868 posts. To be honest, that's relatively high. I've been following, a number of tickers on Stocktwits for a while, and to see the daily message volume around that number is quite substantial. The other interesting thing is the impressions. So close to a little over 1 million impressions. So if you're not familiar, impressions are how many people can see a post about AEI. So when this number goes up, obviously a lot of people are seeing it. That typically impacts the trend as well as volume, price, things like that. So a pretty good metric to be following. So that's a quick overview for Stocktwits. In terms of AEI on Twitter, if you're not familiar with it, FinTwit, pretty big universe. A lot of people are on Twitter. It's really a great place to see, what's going on for stocks that you follow, or if you're looking for new tickers to pick up. AEI, it really popped off today. So a few less tweets that I think we typically see, but in terms of impressions, this means a lot of people were seeing tweets with the hashtag AEI. Which is quite good to see, especially if you're already an investor in AI. But seeing a change in impressions, a change in tweets, kind of signifies that something's happening. Like I said, we'll dive into it a little bit more, but just want to provide this overview first. Finally, we have influential AI accounts. Again, because impressions are the key metric that we're following, what we want to know is who are the big accounts, that have a ton of followers. Whenever they tweet out AI, well, obviously a lot of people are going to see it. So the more accounts that have bigger followings are tweeting about, more people are going to see it. Simple as that. So as we can see, in the last 72 hours, we had a little over 100 accounts that have more than 10,000 followers each tweet about AI, and then 7 large Twitter accounts with over 100,000 followers. So that total right there, that gives you, a significant 700,000 impressions just through these accounts. Awesome. So that's a quick run through. So as you've seen on Stocktwits and Twitter, AI is getting quite a bit of attention recently. So jumping in now to really the screener that we use to figure out what's going on from a trending perspective. So what we can do here is you can look up the particular ticker, in this case AEI. And we can see over the last, 72 hours, what's been happening. So as I mentioned, impressions is kind of the main one I look at. So this is how many people see a tweet that is relating to AEI. As you can see, just a quick summary, what we have here is within the last 72 hours compared to the previous 72 hours. So most recent 3 days versus the previous 3 days. Across the board, there's been an increase in kind of what I call action, so a number of posts, which means a lot of people are tweeting about AI. Comments up close to 800%, means a lot of people are commenting on it. That's a good sign of engagement. Likes is up as well, and similarly, it's a good indicator of engagement. And then finally, impressions. So, the previous 72-hour time frame, there was almost 1 million impressions over those 72 hours. And then in the most recent 72-hour time frame, we're looking at close to 10 million. So that's close to a 10x increase in impressions, which is substantial. And what's interesting is if you look at kind of the trend here, so in purple I have highlighted impressions, price is green, obviously when markets closed at night, price, whatever the close was versus the open, that's the change we have here. But if we look back at April 5th, so not a lot of chatter and then a little bit of a pickup, and then right here we see that bump in impressions. We go from 600, boom, to 124,000. And that essentially kind of correlates with this price jump. Moved from 55 cents up to 65 cents. So pretty big jump in this period here. I would say overnight, price is quiet. Have a little bit of action in the morning. Again, another big impression spike. A lot of people are seeing tweets about AEI, and again, we see the price bump up. Then the following evening, typically quiet at night, which makes sense. But then the next morning, 9 a.m., just before market opens, big jump. So 7 a.m., 6,000 impressions, 118,000. Then we're at close to 500,000. And right from there, if you think about it, that's a lot of people who are seeing tweets about AEI. And that is a great sign of essentially social momentum. People are excited about it. People start putting money into AEI. And then this is where we see the price move from 71 cents, boom, to pretty much 91 by the end of the day. Again, there's a bit of a drop off. So, not every large account will be tweeting about AEI. But we see a significant bump here in the morning to get things going. And then to close out the day in the afternoon. Again, a lot of action. If you want, we can zoom in a little bit on the time frame to really see what was happening. And the cool part too, which I just want to show you guys, is we can actually look at some of the tweets. So not only do you see kind of an overview of how many people are tweeting about it, the number of impressions, things like that, but then you get a live feed of, here we go, most recent tweets that are talking about AEI. So super useful tool from that perspective. Here we can take a look at the filtered tweets where we essentially try to filter out any bot accounts. And then finally, these are the influencer tweets. So, someone like Ultra Calls has 280,000 followers. So if they tweet something, same with Alert Trade, you want to hear about it. And this typically, especially with stocks, smaller market cap, smaller float, we can sometimes see some volume and price action impact. Awesome. So yeah, that's just the quick run through I want to do for AEI. As I said, if you found this video useful, please like, please subscribe. I'm trying to release some every day. Links will be in the description below. Check out Utradea. This tool is free to use. Super useful if you're an investor, if you're a trader. Highly recommend checking it out. Awesome. Have a good one.